Well, another UAW president is being investigated. I guess the apple doesn't fall too far from the corrupt UAW president tree. The UAW president Shawn Fain is now under investigation by a federal monitor who was assigned to the UAW because of past corrupt UAW presidents. You can't make this stuff up. And what if I told you that Mr. Shawn Fain might have retaliated against other UAW leaders because they didn't want to go along with his web of lies? You know what's not corrupt? Saving up to 15% off your next order with my friends at Just Bolt-Ons and DragRacingWheels.com. They have every aftermarket part that you can think of, from catch cans to Mickey Thompsons for your Ford, Chevy, Mopar car, truck, or SUV. You can use my discount code BUTTER at checkout as many times as your heart desires. So check out my friends at Just Bolt-Ons and DragRacingWheels.com, where some of the best prices online just got a little bit better. With my over 34,400 friends and a 77% now you subscribed amazingly, but I still love you guys. Today we're diving into some serious news about the UAW and its president, Shawn Fain. Who is Shawn Fain? Well, Shawn Fain is the prominent figure in the UAW, recently leading the union through significant actions like the major strike against the Detroit automakers, winning economic justice for its members, and has been leading efforts since then to expand the union influence across the country. But now the UAW president finds himself at the center of a federal investigation. An independent monitor is looking into allegations that Fain retaliated against other union leaders. This investigation was kicked off back in February after Margaret Mock, the UAW Secretary-Treasurer, claimed she faced retaliation from Fain. According to Mock, her reluctance to approve certain expenditures for Fain's office didn't sit well with him, and then there was like a 36-page court filing that the UAW monitor outlines how the union has been slow walking providing necessary documents for the investigation. So far, the article says that only 2,000 out of potentially 16,000 documents have only been presented and handed over to him. This slow response is raising eyebrows, especially because the UAW has a history of corruption scandals that led to federal convictions of several former leaders. The federal monitor's role, appointed in 2021 because of that nonsense, is to ensure transparency and root out any remaining corruption within the union, which looks like they still have some work to do on that front. But these scandals were and still is a very big deal, including the fact that 2 former UAW presidents landed in prison before they got let out because of COVID. So this investigation is crucial for maintaining trust and integrity within the union. Fain, on the other hand, has encouraged the investigation, claiming that his leadership is committed to servicing the membership and upholding democratic principles. He suggested that his efforts to reform the union might be shaking up those who preferred the old ways and old status quo. But that doesn't seem to be working, because you have thousands being laid off after the historic strike, and now the UAW membership have dipped to the lowest level since 2009. Yeah, you rocked the boat so much that there's no one left on there. Yikes. The monitor's investigation has expanded to include allegations made by Fain himself against Rich Boyer, the leader of the UAW Stellantis department. Fain reassigned Boyer's duties, accusing him of not fulfilling his duties, particularly regarding the collective bargaining process. However, Boyer, he basically says that he was retaliated against for not engaging in financial misconduct as well, which seems kind of interesting that it's the same thing with Margaret Mock. Now, I remember seeing back in May that it was alleged that Rich Boyer was removed because he didn't want to lay off more workers at the Stellantis plants, which was thousands upon thousands of people, all the way from, a few weeks from the whole historic contract up until like Valentine's Day, where people were getting laid off and getting cell phone calls and all this other nonsense getting effed over. This back and forth is creating quite a stir and has significant implications for how the union is perceived, especially by its members. The UAW president Shawn Fain was elected last year after winning UAW's first direct election. Then he led a 6-week strike against the Detroit automakers and pushed for a nationwide organization campaign after he met with Joe Biden, who showed up for one day for a photo op. The campaign of pushing south for more union dues, membership, has seen both victories and losses. The UAW recently lost a vote at the Mercedes plant in Alabama, but won at a Volkswagen plant in Tennessee. Ever since his loss at Mercedes plant in Alabama, Fain went to overturn the election, and he's now been labeled as an election denier, which is quite hilarious. And even since this L that they took, we haven't heard anything about the UAW winning anywhere else. I won't even bring up the fact that 70% of workers at the Nissan plant voted out the UAW, and the National Labor Review Board has blocked workers at like Starbucks, for example, from removing their union's representation. Union membership is at an all-time low. People are getting fed up with it, and you can see why the UAW is on life support. Just so that we are clear, I support the UAW worker, not the UAW management, which has a history of corruption, just like the DMX song with Shawn Fain. Here we go again with this nonsense. And it always boiled down to money, and interesting that 2 UAW leaders have accused Shawn Fain of trying to get them to act funny with the money of hundreds of thousands of UAW workers that they literally in the plant sweating every single day for. Especially in Michigan, where a new law was passed to force every member to pay union dues, even if they did not want to be a part of the union. Michigan became the first state in like 50 years to remove the right to work law, which allowed workers to choose not to join a union or even pay union dues as a condition of their employment, which doesn't sound very democratic to me, to force people to pay fees even if they didn't want to be part of the union in the first place. But the UAW is on life support, and it seems that yet another corrupt UAW president would do anything and remove anyone not willing to bend the rules to bring more money into the union and possibly them. Any analyst with a brain would tell you that EVs require less parts, they would be built less because they cost more, so that means you need less workers to assemble them. But the UAW management foolishly supported this push for electrification, which has backfired in a lot of these smart people's faces that are politicians. We have billions of dollars invested into a niche product that requires thousands of dollars of taxpayer subsidies to even make the vehicles remotely affordable. They can't be charged in a lot of places, and still at the end of the day, you have thousands of UAW workers unemployed because of electrification. You have workers fired over text messages, fired around Valentine's Day, not to mention quality of life issues like vent fans not working, roofs leaking, no PPE, oil leaks, bathroom issues, and then you got third-party contractors being in there being used, and the UAW president is so focused with the quality of life adjustment, he going down in the South, focused on expanding rather than taking care of the workers who voted him in. He's being lobbied by politicians. He met Joe Biden. He's at a State of Union address and all this other fanfare. But how has the quality of life been for the worker? Oh, never mind. We already know the answer to that question. To me, there are just some of those in the higher levels of the UAW that do not care about the worker, because as thousands of you guys get laid off, those people in management positions are getting paid while a lot of you guys are collecting unemployment. And others have that feeling in their gut of whether or not they could be next. But don't worry, the UAW will look out for themselves and expand to other facilities to gain more union dues, membership, and apparently target foreign manufacturers to make their costs go up on their non-EV plants. It kind of seems as though the game plan is to expand to production plants that produce ICE vehicles to cause those ICE vehicles to go up in price to make EVs appear more affordable. Then it looks like Mr. Shawn Fain was assigned by maybe the government to go target Tesla and get them to unionize to make Tesla vehicles more expensive and make all these other fools who are putting EVs first appear more affordable, when Tesla is destroying everyone else in price and is not even close. So what does this mean for the UAW and its members? The union is supposed to be a safety net for jobs, but as the thousands of people laid off that thought they were going to get rolled over into full-time jobs, or guys that were getting laid off left and right during holidays, the investigation into Fain could lead to maybe significant changes within the union, depending on its outcome. But I don't think so, because it seems as though he's doing the bidding for somebody behind the scenes. But it is a reminder of this investigation of the ongoing struggle for transparency and accountability in labor leadership. For now, all the eyes are on the UAW as it navigates through these turbulent waters, through turbulent times. But let me know what you guys think, and until the next time, I'm out.